$125. At the end of it, we say liquidators welcome at 4 o'clock, and that's when we sell the rest. And you would be surprised how many girls will line up for that. And you know, if you want to be economical, if you have any friends in the bridal salon business, 2 or 3 of you go together, rent a room. Don't do it in your building. It's a nightmare. Then you're servicing dresses for $99 you're not making any profit on, and you're servicing them. Please don't do it. Take it out of the building and make it happen. But what I'm starting to do more and more is, I'm starting to tell my consultants, look, this year I'm bringing in 100 new wedding gowns. That means 150 need to go. Let's go. And there's going to always be the girl, too, with the quick wedding and the tight budget. Or the wedding's 2 years from now, but she wants to put it in layaway with half down and pay on it, and it's leaving my system. These are the type of people you work with. Yes?
Yes. Would you role play the first 3 or 4 questions your consultants ask your bride when they come in your store?
Absolutely. Should I role play what they say or what they should say? I mean, that can vary at any day of the week. And mind you, I finally got an office. I never had an office. 45, never had an office. I finally got an office, and they gave me the events director's office, thank you, outside the door of when I hear everything going on. I jump over my desk at least 5 times a day. I go, what in the world are you saying? How they should do this is good afternoon, good morning, thank you for shopping Catan Fashions. Can I get you a bottle of water? Now let me take your garments and come with me into our private dressing room, and let's sit down and talk a few minutes and learn about you and what you're all about and what you're looking for. And we get them to fill out a prospect sheet in their dressing room, away from everybody. They sit down. We give the girls on a clipboard a list of questions they should ask them: name, address, phone number, wedding date, the style of the dress, the budget that they're in, and budget's important. And you will find that if you're sensitive to that, they buy more. And we get to know about them. And then we take them out on the floor, and we give them a few minutes to look around. And we start with 8 dresses at a time so the rack doesn't fall down. And then we proceed from there. So it's mainly greeting them, thanking them to come to our establishment, hope we can make their day pleasant, and make their wedding a memorable experience. And that pretty well solves it. Next.
Going back to inventory, how do you know when you have too much inventory in your store? How are you able to tell?
How am I able to tell? I can't fit any more in the rack. Is that what you mean? Or do you mean number-wise?
Number-wise.
Okay. Do you have a computer system? Do you track your inventory?
Yes.
Well, then the number's in there, honey, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So in other words, you have a running inventory in your computer. Okay, so your question is, how much is too much?
Correct.
It's always too much.
Okay.
You know, that's a good question, but it's a very difficult question, because what is enough? I would say whoever said less is more is correct. Raise your hand. Less is more. I guess you have to look at it this way too. Am I servicing the clients that are coming in? Do I have enough to show in this particular category? let's go for an instance. Lace is big now in the bridal industry. And maybe you go into your salon and everything is chiffon and taffeta and satin, and you haven't delved into the lace. Now, you need to give it a good presentation. What's a good presentation? Again, it depends the size of your store and the gross intake. Does that help you at all? It's an excellent question, and honestly, if I had that answer, I'd probably be retired. Oh, you are? Well, there you go. There you go. She's retired. Yes, another question.
Speaking of not wanting to buy more inventory and trying to cut back, how do you tell your vendors, everybody wants you to buy the minimum? I know everybody deals with this, and you say, I'm not buying the minimum, I can't buy the minimum, and then they say, well, you can't place your order, so do you tell them, I'm not going to place my order? And then they say, well, we're going to open up the store down the street, then if you're not going to place your order. Most vendors really work with you, but there are some that are cutthroat, so how do you deal with that?
Okay, let me tell you my philosophy, and my philosophy is from being on both sides of the coin. It's like, on the importing side, the manufacturers need X amount of SKUs to create the price point to be able to serve you the best. So therefore, the minimums end up being whatever they are because of their pricing to be able to stay competitive in the market. So if they don't get X amount of SKUs from their clients, the price is going to go up, which is not going to be valuable to you. So my answer to that question is very simple, and it took me 25 years to figure it out. And guess what? I'm up here speaking to you what to do, and it took me 25 years to figure this answer out. Maybe I'm the wrong person. What I have learned, you go with less vendors and give them what they're asking for and create a loyalty base. You can't be all over. You go with the best that's for you, and that's all you do. If you're going to bring in 30 dresses for spring, you go with the 4 vendors that will cover that, and you leave it alone. That is my best advice. And again, it took me 25 years. Yes? Yes?
The biggest problem I have at the moment is we have a national TV show. I found my dress, and she's 5 miles away from me, and the dresses are selling less than half of what I pay. I pay wholesale. It's less than half of the wholesale. You talk to the manufacturers, they tell you it's a customer's, she's supposed to be buying flawed dresses, and the representative tells you one story, and the manufacturer tells you another story. And I've talked to so many manufacturers, I don't know how to solve this. I don't mind David Bridal. I don't mind competition. You go where the competition is.
Correct.
But how are we as retailers that are buying minimums can compete with a dress that I sell for $2,800 when she sells or they sell it for $1,100 and $1,400?
Well, they can't possibly do that. I mean, it's an imposter.
I'd like the answer to that.
I don't know. I mean, but I'm going to research it. That'll be my answer. I don't know. We'll talk further. Come to me, give me the information, and let me look into it. I can't educationally answer that question right now because I don't have the answer. But if that's the case, it's a problem. Yes?
2 questions.
Sure.
Your initial markup, is that straight Keystone or do you plus mark? And would you elaborate on the shipping charge?
Very good question that we left out. I use the MSRP that every manufacturer asks me to use. I would prefer not using Keystone if it's at all not necessary. I'd rather go to 2.2 to 2.5. because Keystone today